Assalamualaikum and good afternoon, dear students. I hope you guys are doing healthy and enjoy and get ready for the next or current survey work that you are going to do. Now, I would like to show to you on how to conduct the traversing. Of course, we have gone through all the procedures, but now I would like to highlight on the using of the total stations. Okay, because previously we just go through on how to do the setup. Now I want to show to you on how to prepare the readings for the total stations. Right in front of me there are 5 types of total stations that we have here in our Geomatic portal, and I would also want to show to you on how to key in for each of the total stations. But chill, because I would like to also show to you on what are the relations between the leveling work that we have gone through, the traversing, which we are going to do now. The next is on the detailing, how to do all of this and how to conduct the total stations, each and every type of total stations that we have. Please make sure that these total stations must always start with the datum for the first stations, and for the following stations you must insert the calculated or the computed backside value, okay, both for face left and the face right. Do not just assume that all the bearings are correct. No, especially when you want to do the face right, because please remember that there are 2 phases that you need to do. First is the face left, secondly is the face right. Okay, so for the face right especially, please key in the value for the back side before you measure for the new bearing of the foresight. Okay, so let's take a look at each and every total station that we have here in order to know on how to do the key in. Okay, to start with, these are the types of total stations that we have here in our Geomatic portal. Okay, from the left is Nikon model, next is the Leica, followed with the Topcon, one of the earliest that we have, and then the next series of Topcon with a bigger display over here, and the latest, which is the GM series. Of course, bigger displays, dual battery pack is very new for you. Okay, please remember that all of this has the very same fundamental, where it is divided into 2 parts, the tri-bract and also the upper part. You need to make sure that the bubble on the tri-bract is right in the center before you adjust for a much more precise the upper part of the bubble. Of course, some of them like this one, and this one, all of them has a digital bubble that can assist you, but of course it is very much the same. Okay, it is very much the same. What is the similarity that I meant is actually regarding on how to do the leveling. Okay, as you know, leveling is where you must make sure that the bubble sits right in the center. Okay, right in the center. Now, of course, I would like to remind you that whenever you do the setups, make sure that these 2 screws are right in front of you. Okay, these 2 screws are right in front of you, and then whenever you want to do the adjustment, make sure that you turn both inwards or both outwards, whether inwards or outwards. Both of them have the same directions. Okay, and then you align the bubble to be right over here or over there in this line. Okay, and then once you got that, only then you go for the screws at the back over here. Okay, and then the bubble will move inwards inside this circle. Next, for a much more precise, is the top bubble, the upper plate bubble. This bubble, it requires a slight move. You may turn only one to the side. Okay, let's see, I will demonstrate here because it is so precise. Just a very little, like so, the bubble already moved inside the between these two lines. Okay, between these two lines. Okay, now once you have confident with the setup of this leveling, okay, the bubble, I want you to turn to the side and check back the bubble whether it is still in the center or not. Okay, and then turn on this side and then check whether the bubble is still in the center or not. If it is not, don't panic. Do not turn this, vigorously. You just turn it very slightly because it is very sensitive. Okay, sometimes if you turn very quick like so, the instruments won't allow you to do any readings because the bubble is not yet balanced. Once it is balanced, you just wait for a few seconds and then it will allow you to do the readings. Okay, to start with, all these total stations has a battery pack. Okay, and you need to know on how to insert the battery. Of course, let's start with the top quad. Top quad, the GTS model has the battery pack on the side. It is very much similar for both. You need to simply click this and then you can pull it out like so. Okay, whenever you got a new battery pack, you must put this accordingly like so, and then you will hear the click button, the click sound like so. Okay, then you can turn on the total stations. As for the GM series, you need to click this upwards and then you may you may open this closure and then lift the battery upwards a little bit. You can take the battery out like so. Okay, and then if you have changed to a new battery, simply insert it like so and pull it downwards, secure it and turn it, close it like so. For the Leica, the battery pack is on this side. It's very much similar. Confused a little bit. Okay, twist this, and then if it doesn't pop out, it must pop out actually. Okay, if it doesn't, you just jingle it a bit. Do not force to pull it out in one way. Just jingle it sideways like so. And then you may pull it out, the battery. Make sure that the contact part is on top. Okay, you can see over here the contact part is on the top like so. Turn. Okay, please be gentle with all these instruments. The last one is the Nikon. Similar, it should pop out. Okay, and once it pop out, you may take out the battery, and the battery looks like this. Okay, put it inside like so, close it lock it. Simple. Okay, now here comes the part where I show to you on how to key in the value. Okay, remember the value is only for datum and the backside, not the foresight. The foresight value is where you jot down or record the readings that was given here. Okay, now to turn on, simply push the power button here, and then it shows to you right now, it shows that this instrument is still in X tilt over. Okay, X tilt over means that you need to do the some leveling adjustment, just a little bit, whether on this part or on this part, on the behind. Okay, now it's good. Right, so how to do the, it's still moving because I moved this table a little bit. How to do the setup? Okay, there are three options over here. The 0 set setup for 0 degrees bearing, the hold button, and the H set. This H set is for the horizontal sets. Either can be the datum or the backside. For the 0 set, it is more on the offset, where you don't have yet the proper readings, so you simply can turn these horizontal readings to 0, like so. They ask horizontal angle set to 0. Okay, yes, okay. And now the bearing is 0. Okay, of course, as I said, this is very sensitive equipment. Therefore, you should not be panicked due to the changes of this reading. Now, for the H set over here, click the H set button, angle set, horizontal angle set. Okay, input. Then you say click the F1 over here to select the value. Let's say I want to set 120 degrees, 10 minutes and 10 seconds. How do I insert it? 1 0, I'm sorry, it's not 1 0. Okay, set it over again, input 1 2 0 0.1 0, and then 1 0, 120 degrees, 10 minutes and 10 seconds. So before you click this enter, make sure that you aim perfectly at the prism, at the backside prism. Okay, once you're confident, only then you click this enter button and the value will be released. Okay, now it can change. If you move a little bit, it will change to the left. I mean, the readings will change. Okay, right. For our second instruments, the GTS model, the next series, is this top card. To turn on, you simply push this power button. Okay, and then the same, there are 0 sets, hold, and H set. So for the offset, okay, you can use the 0 set button to turn everything into 0 value. Simply click yes, and then the horizontal will turn 0. But for your datum and your backside value, you should use the H set. So click this H set, and then you may enter the value 120 degrees, for example, 120 degrees dot, okay, 10 minutes and 10 seconds. Okay, and then you aim at the prism. Make sure that everything is set. I mean, the crosshair is not blurred, the image is not blurred, and it follows the points of the prism, horizontal and vertical points. Once you're confident, only then you release the value by clicking this enter button. Okay, now the value can change. If I tap a little bit, or not even tap, it does a little bit changes. So next is the GM series total stations. To turn on, you simply click this button. And then you do the leveling. This is the digital leveling. Okay, once satisfied, click OK. And then there are the display is a little bit different, like so. So what you need to do, as you can see over here, there are 0 sets button, there are measurements button over here, and again the measurement over here. This is to directly key in the value inside this to store the value. The measurement is to measure for you to do the readings. Now, if you see there is a P1 indicator over here, this is the first page. So to change the page, you click the down button like so. Now, the function, you click the function button, and then you can look at this functions over here. The functions has changes. This is for the EDM, the measurement, hinge set, tilt, and menu. So we want to set the horizontal. We click F3 for the hinge set. And then it asks whether for angle or coordinates we want to set the angle. Simply click enter, and then you may key in the value. So 120.10 minutes 10 seconds, like so. Again, aim at the prism. Make sure that the crosshair is clear, the prism is clear, and the crosshair must sit on the tip of the point of the prism. Okay, once everything set, click OK to release the value. Next is the Leica model. Okay, to turn on the Leica model, the switch on button is on the side, like so. Click to turn it on. It will take some time. Okay, now is for the leveling. Okay, so I simply turn a little bit like so. It's super sensitive, and then I go for the next. Okay, now we got all three correct. It's super sensitive because I just sit my hand over here. You see, it changes already, but it's okay. Within the circle is accepted, and then I simply click continue, like so. Now there are many functions over here. Go for the survey. Click enter over here, and then you can see the quite a similar display just like the Topcon GM series. There are measurement, distance, and store. This is to store everything, take the readings, and then immediately record into this instrument. The measurement is for you to do the analog recordings. To turn page, simply click this F4, again F4, then you can go to this page where you can set the horizontal. So click F2, and then point ID, you start with point number 2 or point number 3, depends on you, but change the horizontal over here. So to change the horizontal to 0, you can click F1, simply turn it into 0 for the offset measurement. But for the datum and also the backside value, you should key in this value. So to key in this value, click enter and insert 120 10 10. This is just an example value, okay? Just an example value. So once you are satisfied, okay, you may click insert or enter over here. Enter 120 10 and 10. Of course, the same procedure, you need to take a look at the prism at the front. Make sure that the crosshair is clear and the prism is also clear. And then make sure that the crosshair sits right at the tip of the points arrow of the prism. Okay, right at the tip. For the vertical, to the vertical tip. For the horizontal crosshair, to the horizontal tip of the prism. Okay, once you have prepared both, and then you may click continue or click enter. Click continue over here so that the value will be released, and then you can turn this instrument facing the foresight. Okay, so this is the last instruments that I will show to you on how to key in the value. Of course, we need to turn it on. This is the power button. Okay, and then do some level adjust over at the back. No. Okay, and then I click enter. Now this is the display of this Nikon. The first display is where it shows the vertical angle only without the distance, without horizontal angle. So what you need to do is to click this A and G for the angle, and then there are several functions over here. You can do the offset with a 0 setup. Just go up here and then click enter, and you can also input the horizontal angle for the datum and also the backside reading. So here for the input, click enter to key in the value. So the example value is 120 degrees, and then click this dot in order to move to the minutes. So 10 minutes and 10 seconds. And then you aim at the prism. Make sure that the image of the prism and also the crosshair is clear, and make sure that the crosshair sit at the tip of the vertical prism and also the horizontal vertical point and horizontal point of the prism. Okay, when both sits correctly, perfectly, only then you release this value. So release this value like so. Okay, it doesn't appear over here. Change the display over here like so. Change the display to page 3. Page 4 is for the coordinates, so you use page number 2. Okay, and then do the measurement. It can be here. I didn't put the prism on the front. So this is how you set for the datum and the backside before you turn for the foresight. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to show to you on the overall concept of this work, starting from the leveling data that you have, followed with the traversing, and finally the detailing. So, these are the three booking forms that you have. First is the leveling, second is the traversing, final one is to find the coordinates over here. Okay, now starting from the leveling, the concept is like this. Let's say this is your working sectors given, okay, and you have started your leveling work from the benchmark. Now you conduct fly leveling inside your, from this benchmark into your working sectors, okay, and then you establish a point inside here. Let's say you establish over here. So this is your TBM. Okay, so once you have established this TBM, you turn back to this benchmark and calculate the accuracy, whether it is acceptable or need to reject and conduct overall again. Now, once you have done this, we are now moved with the traversing. So the concept of traversing is to produce a horizontal control network inside your working sectors. Let's say this is your first stations. You need to establish another 5 stations. So overall, you will have 6 stations. Okay, just like so. And then from here, you need to conduct the traversing work. Let's say the TBM, because of this is the stations, the first stations that you establish. Let's say you want to start with the TBM over here. So this will be station number 2. The backside will be station number 1 over here, and this is station number 3. Just an example. Okay. Now you backside to these stations and foresight to these stations. Okay. Of course, you want the value of datum to start your survey. So where to get this datum? Of course, from the real job, you need to obtain it from the Department of Surveying in order to know between these two boundary marks. Okay? Between these two boundary marks, you can have the bearing, distance, bearing of degree, minutes and seconds, and of course the distance. Okay, but here in our simulation or our practice, we simply use your compass. So from station 2 to station number 1, you must obtain your datum from compass. So you can either borrow the compass from this Geomatic portal, or you can simply use your smartphones. Place it on top of the of your tripod, aiming at the backside, and then take only the degrees. Do not minute and seconds. No, you don't have to. Let's say the first degrees is 120 degrees, the first bearing. Okay, so this 120 degrees will be your datum. You need to insert this value inside here. Okay, now once you have done that, of course you need to turn and face the new stations. So here at the new stations, you will have a new bearing. So this new bearing is the one that you should insert over here inside your traversing form. So we started with the datum of 120 degrees. For example, 120 degrees. Here is your station number 2, backside to station number 1, foresight to station number 3. Okay, let's say you turn here and you got a value of, let's say, 220 degrees, 10 minutes and 10 seconds. Okay, now you need to recall the steps that I asked you to jot down. From the phase left, how to find the phase right? The phase right needs to refers to the value of phase left. If the value of phase left is less than 180 degrees, therefore you need to use the operation plus 180 degrees. If the value is more than 180 degrees, you need the operation of minus with 180 degrees. Okay, you remember this one? Now, let's take a look over here. Here is 120 degrees. So the value of phase right must be plus with 180, which means the value is 300 degrees over here. Remember that for all the backsides, you must insert this value into the instruments, into the total stations. Okay? Do not simply assume the value. Do not carry the error. The error must be eliminated. Okay? Now, when you turn to the front, it will give you what, 400 means 40 degrees. 40 degrees, 10, let's say 20 over here. Okay? Let's say there are differences. 40 degrees, 10, and 20. Okay. Alright. Now, from here, you need to find the value of mean. How to do? Again, refers to the phase left. Always refers to the phase left. 40 degrees over here need to plus with 180 degrees. So you will get 220, 10, and 20. 220, 10, and 20. Okay? Now this value need to plus with the phase left value. So you will get 440, 20, is it 30? Yes, 30. 440, 20, 30. And then you divide it by 2 in order to find the average. So you will get 220, 10, 15. Now, we want to prepare for the next station. After you have done this for both phases, phase left and the phase right, you must move this total station to here. From here, you move to here. So, your backside will now be on station 2. No more foresight over here. This is the backside facing there. And then from 3 to 4 will be your new foresight. Okay? Right. So, how to prepare? How to prepare the backside value? The backside value over here need to be put like so. You are now on station number 3, backside station number 2, foresight station number 4. Okay? Now, remember the crossings. 40 over here need to be to be written to the phase left. 40 degrees, only the degrees. 220, put it over here, 220 degrees, like so. Regarding the minutes and seconds, do not use the value from here. Instead, take it from the average. So 10 and 15, 10, 15, 10, 15, like so. Okay, and then you may repeat the works. Set the backside value over here into the total stations. Aim at the prism, backside prism. Make sure that you point it correctly before you release the value, and once you release the value, you may turn to the foresight and obtain the new readings. And then the new readings will be instead of here, and then for the phase right, set this value, aim at 4, insert the new value over here, find the mean, and do the crisscross. The minutes and seconds take it from here, and the process is repeated. Following the engineering, of course, it is more than 20,000. Okay, so once you have finished everything, of course, do not forget to take the distance also. The distance must be the foresight, must always be the foresight, and similar row with the 2 and 3 over here. And then once you have finished everything, you need to calculate the corrections, and once you have finished applying the corrections, you can have the final bearing. So from here, the final bearing will be inserted into the new form. Okay, the stations over here, the bearing over here, and the distance over here. And then what you need to do is to calculate the total distance, total latitude, and total departure. But how? Of course, for the latitude, you must use this formula: distance, cosine, and bearing. For the departure, distance, sine, and bearing. As for the accuracy, you need to find the accuracy with the formula given in the lecture. More than 8,000 is for the cadastral rule, but we only apply the cadastral rule for you. For the engineering level, the first class is always be more than 20,000. Okay, but I'm expecting this. Please, once you have got this and more than 8,000, then you may proceed with the corrections of the latitude and finding the coordinates. So with that, I wish you all the best, and please do it correctly, because I don't want to force you in order to do the repetitive works. When you do each and every step, you must understand the especially in terms of the error. You must be aware of the error, because this error is actually accumulative. Okay, you may not realize this, but towards the end, it may cause the errors. Okay, they might have big difference over here, and this will cause you trouble because you need to repeat the entire traversing work. So once you obtain all of this, okay, you may start with the detailing work. Okay, but as for now, traversing only. So with that, thank you very much, and please do your best.